What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we're going to be talking about Lucid stock, ticker symbol LCID, because this stock is a huge momentum play that's been blowing up over the past couple of days, and people are very curious about what just happened, especially today with the big dip that we've seen. Now, let's take a look at the chart and see what we have going on. So you can see that we actually have, I'll zoom out to the past 5 days, we have been climbing quite a bit every day pretty much, except for today, we've been taking a bit of a dip. Now, a lot of people are very surprised to see this and thought this was very unexpected. However, I mean, this, if you've been watching this channel at least, was very predictable because we actually have known that $28 was going to act as a somewhat significant resistance level, which is exactly where we bounced off of. And we've known this for a while. If you look back, I think over the past 90 days is a good time frame. Maybe the past year would be better. You can see that $28 has acted as a fairly significant resistance for us in the past, right? Especially over the past couple of months. And even if you go back here, it kind of acted as a bit of a resistance, not necessarily as hard as it has been these past 3 times, but it is very expected to see that we're bouncing off of $28 in a strong way, even though we have some significant momentum behind us. Now, that doesn't mean that the Lucid momentum play is done, right? This is, stocks typically follow these somewhat predictable patterns, and it's no surprise that we're bouncing off of 28. It's exactly what any shorts or bears want with this stock, right? And not even necessarily bears, but people who may have been buying up shares at cheaper price points, maybe even as low as $16 or $15 when this thing really got down during the PIPE equity investor release, right? When a bunch of private investment and public equity investors were able to finally sell their shares. That's what happened around here when we hit down all the way into the $15 range. That's when a lot of people may have been buying, and $28, in their opinion, is probably the perfect place to sell because we're hitting up on a hard resistance level that we've struggled to break through in the past, and they don't necessarily want to take the risk that we're going to be bouncing down in a big way, which we already have somewhat significantly, right? We're down about $2 from 28 where we were just earlier this morning, and anyone who's selling there is sitting pretty, right? However, that doesn't mean that we're not going to continue moving up because there is a lot of momentum on this stock and a lot of attention that it's been getting, especially on Wall Street bets. If you look right here, you can see that Lucid Motors is up 6 spots to the number 2 position, right below SPY. So it's the number 1 stock on Wall Street bets. SPY is an ETF. And you can see that we are up 177% over the past 24 hours mention-wise, right? We have a ton of upvotes, over 5,000 upvotes, over 400 mentions. So this stock is really blowing up on Reddit and Wall Street Bets. And the reason is because it has been identified as a fairly significant momentum play. Ever since this PIPE release, when investors were able to sell their shares and this stock just dumped all the way down to 15, a bunch of people have been buying this up because this was honestly a big worry that a lot of investors had. If you look back at the yearly chart, you can see that leading up to this, although we had been trading in this $22 to $28 range, a lot of investors right before this release started getting worried, started getting cold feet on Lucid and selling, and rightfully so, because this release did tank us down a ton. But these investors were selling, pushing us down essentially before the release happened because they wanted to get out before the PIPE investors, which is very unfortunate. If you look at the PIPE investors, I almost feel bad for them because they had been holding this stock for a very long time, and then a lot of them ended up selling around $15, $16, $17, most of them below 18. If you look at this huge volume bar right here, 37 million shares traded below 18 for the most part. And I do feel kind of bad for them because they were holding this stock for a long time. They were holding when it was up at 64, almost 65. And even over here, they may have been thinking that they were going to be able to sell in the 22s or, 28 around there. And they ended up selling for under 18. So I feel very bad for them. But, they had paper hands and they sold at a time that they probably shouldn't have. So what's been going on with Lucid recently, right, is we've been experiencing this big momentum, this big upwards push ever since the PIPE release. We've just been moving up and up and up. And now that we're hitting this actual resistance level, right, this is the first real resistance level that we had to deal with because this $22 level was actually more of a support level. At least that's how it had acted for us in the past. It had been succeeding in holding us up time after time until finally the PIPE release. The worries about that finally pushed us down below 22. We've been able to come back since and have used it as a support again, further giving people more conviction, essentially, that this stock is going to continue rising and that there is very strong support and a lot of buying pressure for Lucid. Now we're bouncing off 28. It's completely expected. I am not too worried about this at all. It's a very natural place for us to be bouncing off of. You can even see, we were just shooting up on the first 2 bars, and then some big volume came in and pushed us down and not even necessarily the largest volume, right? There was technically more buying volume. Well, obviously volume is split between buying and selling, but above 28, you can see there was a lot of volume trading on this stock, and it's just been pushing us down. And that is because it's a decent price to do that at, right? If I were trading this stock, that would probably be where I would have been looking to sell. Maybe even before that, right? Because you don't know necessarily that we're actually going to touch 28. We ended up doing that this time, but I probably would have been looking to sell, in this area in the pre-market probably if I had been holding shares, if I had been taking this trade on. So now that we're looking at Lucid having dipped a bit, is this a good place to be buying? Well, we can kind of look at what's been going on with Lucid lately and how much attention they've been getting and kind of glean from that what might be going on in the future. So this is Lucid on Google Trends, and you can see that they have been getting a lot of attention over the past week, and then the weekend it kind of subsided as all stocks do, but we have been trending up this week, right? Making higher highs every day. We had highs of 54 search ranking wise Monday. Then Tuesday we had highs of 88, and today we've been hitting highs of 100, and that's the highest ranking you can get. So obviously, a ton of people are interested in Lucid stock and want to start trading this and making some money. And we are starting to get into an area where a lot of those people might feel comfortable buying this stock, right? Especially since today has the highest search ranking that we've had in the past. Actually, the highest that's possible, right, of 100. A lot of new people are probably looking at this and might be trying to buy the Lucid dip. And I do expect that will probably happen. I think that we won't have too much trouble breaking through 28 because on top of all of this, right, on top of all the technicals that we have going for us, there has been a lot of positive Lucid news lately. For instance, one thing off the top of my head is they just released some information about their newest car, the Lucid Air Dream. I forget exactly what the model number was, but basically this car has the longest EPA estimated range of any car in existence for electric vehicles, that is, of over 500 miles, which beats Tesla's by a long shot. So this is the longest range electric vehicle in existence, right? That's EPA rated, that's certified. So very, very bullish stuff for Lucid. They haven't really started selling their stuff yet, but I think that when they do, a lot of people will be looking to get their vehicles and just get the longest range car in existence. I think a lot of people will be interested in that. Now, if you look at Ortex, we'll pull that up right here. You can actually see something that I've noticed with the short interest is that over the past couple of days, if you look at this yellow line, the short interest as a percentage of the free float, you will notice that we have actually been seeing a bit of a spike as, is this Lucid? Yeah, this is Lucid. As Lucid has been increasing in price, we have been seeing a bit of a spike in short interest. We're up even 5% today. Probably a lot of this $28 selling has been because of some shorts, right? Shorts saw $28 as a great level to be shorting at. Obviously, Lucid doesn't have that high of a short interest as a percentage of the free float. It is a massive company. We're valued at over $40 billion, $43 billion. So obviously not a ton of people are wanting to short this because it does have a lot of bullish signs going for it. However, there are some, and $28, honestly, if you were going to short this thing, this is probably a great place to be doing that at. Although I would start to consider taking profits now. You've already made almost 10% on your money in a couple of hours, and now seems like a great place to be taking profits, especially if you were shorting above 28 for these couple of bars, if you were savvy enough to be doing that. But now, the risk to reward seems to be more in favor of risk if you're taking a short position on, because I think that Lucid doesn't really have that much further to drop. I can't really see them dropping too much more, just based off of all the momentum that they're seeing on Wall Street Bets, Reddit, and the internet in general. Looking at that Google Trends graph again, you can see they are making new highs. So very impressive momentum-wise and search ranking-wise, volume-wise. I think a lot of people are coming into Lucid, especially with all the catalysts that they have coming up. They do have some events over the next couple of days that I will probably be making some videos on as they happen. And there's basically just a lot going on with Lucid that I think makes it a little bit too dangerous, in my opinion, to really be taking on a serious short position unless you're just thinking of doing that as a quick little trade. Now, obviously, this has the potential to drop down a bit. I'm not trying to sell anyone on this stock and tell them that it can only go up. But in my opinion, it's a very strong stock. And even though we are seeing some negative momentum today off of this $28 level, I am still fairly bullish on it over the short to mid term, especially, and the long term as well. I'm really just bullish on this stock, and will certainly be adding some to my long-term portfolio at least. I don't know if I'll be taking a trade on it because we really have used up a lot of the momentum that we have, and it's becoming a little bit more risky at this point. We have, seen a lot of gains thus far, and $28 is a fairly significant resistance level. So it's not a guarantee that we'll break through. It's my expectation that we will. But you see we've bounced off of it 3 times, and we have retraced fairly significantly pretty much every time that we've bounced off of it. This would be, if we ended up shooting back up today, the smallest retracement that we've ever had bouncing off of 28. So, it's not a guarantee. It is my expectation, but I'm not telling you guys to trade based off of my expectations. Okay, I'm just letting you know what I think, in my opinion. I see this thing bouncing back probably later today or later tomorrow, especially if the markets overall are doing all right, which it seems like at least the S&P is, right? We are bouncing back off of this really negative last couple of days that we've had. And we are bouncing back today up over 1%. So it would not surprise me if LCID did the same, especially considering all of the momentum that we've had going for us over the past couple of days and all the new people getting into this stock. So that's really what I'm here to talk about today with Lucid. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel. So other than that, guys, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.